Most people think squirrel removal is all about trapping and elimination, but there's a hidden tool that works best, and it's humane and safe and easy to use. It's the use of a one-way door. Why does squirrel removal fail when homeowners try to attempt this process on their own? For starters, you need to identify the proper animal and utilize the proper one-way door for the specific animal. You might not have access to all the proper safety equipment to do a full exterior roof and property inspection. It is critical during this inspection to isolate and locate all the entry points and permanently seal them off with proper mesh. Now, out in the field, I've experienced every homeowner's DIY attempt at squirrel removal from their roof or attic. Some hidden problems with doing it yourself are you're not isolating all the entry points. You don't have proper safety equipment to get up on the roof, move around the roof, check all the little nooks and crannies properly. They also seal the holes or entry points without utilizing a one-way door. Now, this is super critical to use a one-way door because you're not trapping any animals inside. There's no death, there's no odors, and specifically, we're not leaving any young left behind. If you seal a hole or entry point without a one-way door, and it's during the kit season, especially for squirrels, this will be in spring and fall, you want to make sure we're doing an attic inspection to ensure there's no kits inside before sealing or utilizing a one-way door. If you do this prematurely, you can leave them inside, they might die, or the mother will go frantic, chewing and gaining access any part of your roof, causing additional damage to get back into the side to their young. Now, for squirrels, typically they'll utilize their teeth as their chewing power to gain entry inside your home or attic. We're looking at vulnerable areas like your roof vents. They're made of plastic, easy for them to chew and manipulate to gain access inside. Any exposed roof edges with no drip edge, any exposed fascia boards, or weak or damaged brittle wood, again, they'll chew and scratch and claw their way right inside. Once we've done a roof inspection and isolated all the entry points, make sure to seal off the roof vents, seal off these weak areas, and ultimately install the one-way door for exclusion. Now, utilizing the one-way door for squirrel exclusion is the most humane option in regards to evicting squirrels from a roof or void or structure. It's not like an animal sitting in a trap where it's exposed to the elements. It doesn't know what's happening, what's going on. It can't vacate the trap until you get there to pick it up for relocation. This is a simple, quick, easy, effective solution. Goes right over the entry point the animal's used to coming and going from. It'll make its way through the door, it'll open, it close, excluding it to the outside. Again, we're not removing it from any young it may have inside the structure, whereas trapping and relocating, you might separate this animal from its young. Again, we're ensuring we're doing an attic inspection, making sure during the seasons, spring and fall, utilizing the door during that kit season and making sure the family stays together. Now, some precautions when utilizing a one-way door, especially at heights. You want to make sure you're being very safe, working around the roof, checking all the roof vents, the drip edge. Again, we're using ladders, working at heights, so there's risk to slip and fall. You want to take all the safety precautions you can, and if you're not comfortable, please call a professional. We'll do that 360 inspection safely. We know what we're looking for. We know where the entry points may be. We'll inspect and ensure we check the entire roof or void for the potential entry points of these animals. Again, we're going to want to make sure we're using proper, thick galvanized steel mesh to prevent re-entry. This is wildlife-proof mesh. If you're using something like a chicken wire or small mesh cloth, it can tend to break down, get brittle, rust, or animals may just chew right through it. It's not strong enough. And then ultimately knowing what the season is. So the kit season, spring and fall, make sure we're not separating a mother from its young. It'll cause additional damage to your roof. You may have death inside because the young are too small to vacate through the one-way door. Just consider all these precautions when attempting to utilize a one-way door on your own. Just to recap this video, we went over why the one-way door for squirrel removal is the most humane option. Again, it's placed right over the entry point where the squirrel is used to coming and going from. It easily makes its way through. It closes, it can't get back inside. These are typically found or utilized on roof vents, chimneys, gutters, anywhere a squirrel can manipulate or chew its way in. Again, we discussed the proper mesh to prevent animals from regaining entry. Once the animal vacates, it may try to find a new way in, especially if it's during the kit season. We want to make sure there's no babies or kits left inside when we're doing these removals. And again, installing proper thick galvanized steel mesh. It's wildlife proof. They can't chew or scratch or claw their way right inside. And again, we're going to put a topical leak seal over any hardware that we put on the roof, giving that animal a one-time exclusion and offering your home long-term prevention. So let's talk leak prevention. When we're actually installing vent covers, mesh, or a one-way door to your roof or structure, we will be utilizing screws and fender washers to make sure these devices stay in place and give you that long-term prevention from any wildlife entering the home again. Additional to that, we want to make sure we use a topical leak application. We use leak seal on top of all the washers and screws that we use, ensuring there's no leaks and long-term prevention to your home. Looking for more wildlife hacks from Trapper Tony? Subscribe and hit that bell button so you'll be notified when the next video drops. If you've had squirrels up in your attic and you've dealt with them yourselves, leave a comment below.